Hi guys and welcome to a new video. Today we do something new as I want to talk to you guys about something I have seen a lot online recently. Is the MCU becoming a failing franchise digging its own grave? Or are we just not seeing the bigger picture? Let's talk about it. I thought this video may bring some light and opinions to you concerning the MCU going forward since Avengers, Endgame and Spider-Man Far From Home. Because I think we can all agree on the fact that Phase 4 has felt a little bit convoluted, seeing the rest of the Infinity Saga. And of course, Phase 4 is absolutely not the Infinity Saga. That chapter is closed. We're now moving on in Phase 4, and Phase 4 you can actually see it a lot like Phase 1 of the MCU. Phase 1 setting up the Avengers, Avengers setting up Phase 2 and Avengers Infinity War, Phase 2 setting up the third phase even more, and the third phase culminating in Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame with the fight against Thanos and the blip. And Phase 4 has nothing of that. Phase 4 only has a few amount of characters from the Infinity Saga that we knew and had to introduce a lot of new characters to the genre. And yeah, the first thing I want to talk about is opinions I had before the entire debacle on the internet started. And that's the thing, that I am really scared for Marvel being too big of a franchise. I thought the Infinity Saga was a great franchise. When you wanted to watch Endgame in the movie theater because everyone was going to, you had to watch 23 movies to get to that point. I have a friend who did it like a couple of months ago, watching the entire Infinity Saga. He did it in 2 weeks and I thought that was pretty fast, but it still took 2 weeks to watch the entire franchise. And now, with Phase 4 coming in, we do not have 23, or we are 2 years later. Let's say Marvel made 2 or 3 movies per year. We do not have 25 projects in the MCU, considering 1 year didn't have any movies or shows. No, we have 36 or 37 tomorrow, or actually today, the finale of Ms. Marvel came online. So now we have, I think 37, I think it almost doubled since last year. And the MCU Phase 4 started only in July of 2021, after a delay again, not in May. So in less than a year, we got almost as many projects for the MCU as we got for the entire Infinity Saga in 10 years. And it's something I said, it would be too big. The MCU would be getting too convoluted. If there are new fans to the franchise, fans that have not seen anything about it, and they want to watch Moon Knight or they want to watch Ms. Marvel because they are now in the MCU, the good thing about these shows is they set up a lot for the future of the MCU, only referencing few things out of the earlier MCU. So you can actually start by watching those. If you like them, then go back and watch everything. But there is also a lot that when people want to start watching the MCU, they first have to get through 30 movies and 7 or 8 6-hour-long TV shows. It's just way too big for new fans to become a fan of the franchise quickly. It's getting too big. And now with getting 10 new projects per year, it's only going to get worse. And I think it's got something to do with Kevin Feige not getting it ready anymore. I mean, he now has to do so much for the MCU alone. He's making a Star Wars movie. He's making so much that he actually cannot attend every character and every story that is being told from start to finish. He has to let some things go. And that's what makes Phase 4 so interesting, because it felt so different, but that's also why it also feels so incredibly disconnected. And that is what the main problem for the audiences is now online. It's that it feels disconnected. And I really don't mind that. I think what they are doing with Phase 4 is pretty interesting. It is disconnected in a way that not every story leads up to something already. We had the overarching multiverse, but we mostly had the overarching feeling of guilt and being trapped and just the repercussions of everything that happened in the Infinity Saga with the blip and everybody going down for 5 years and people losing stuff and people having to get just responsible for their actions. That is the overarching thing in the Phase 4, and I really, really like that ingest. But a lot of people can't see it, and I also can't see why nobody can see this. Because I think it's a problem from the audiences that most audiences are expecting every movie to be the new Avengers Endgame level movie with connections, with cameos, with everything. And well, that is not even necessary. I mean, Soups, I like the guy a lot. I think he is a big fan of the franchise and I love his attitude for it. But whenever a new movie comes out, he only talks about how this connection could have been made and how this cameo would have been perfect for the movie. And now he's changing. Now he's talking more and more about the good and the bad things about Phase 4 and about what he missed in it. And mostly, he has some valid points. But a year ago, the guy with Spider-Man No Way Home was only talking about Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. So he also made the same mistake as most audiences did, expecting Avengers Endgame level movies for every movie. And there are a lot of YouTubers and a lot of fans that also made the same problem. Me being one of them with WandaVision, thinking Doctor Strange would come, thinking Mephisto would come, making one of the best memes of Phase 4 by far. But I was thinking too that there were too many and too little connections at the same time. And the thing is, I now changed on that. I still think the MCU is going a bit too far with what it is trying to tell. The MCU is going too far with its stories because it does not feel connected. But then I was thinking, we didn't know what it was building up to in the earlier years of the Avengers. We knew something was coming at the end of the first Iron Man movie. Then we saw Tony Stark again later that year in the first Incredible Hulk movie. Then we had to wait 2 years for the first Thor movie referencing Captain America, Thor referencing Captain America, to then go on to the first Captain America movie actually really announcing the first Avenger movie. And then we knew that something was coming, and it was only in the culmination of that phase that we actually saw where it was going near the end with the teasing of Thanos. So it took a long time for them to get to the point of actually letting us see where the big story is going, and we did not see that as of now, but they are building so much that you actually have like 4 or 5 main big parts of a story that you can attend. You have the multiversal war being teased. I think in Thor Love and Thunder there was a tease of Galactus, but I am not sure. It was near the end of the movie when I saw a helmet. I don't know if it was Galactus, but could be. I don't know. It's not spoiling because I don't know for sure if it's really what I saw. I am not sure. So we have Kang the Conqueror and the Multiversal War. We have now maybe Galactus coming. We have the Fantastic Four with a lot of things coming. We have the X-Men incoming. We have Secret Wars incoming. We have so much that is coming to the MCU right now that I really don't see how this story is going to unfold in what way. And a part of me thinks that is good, but a part of me also thinks that it's bad because they are going to leave out pivotal points of a story just to tell another story. They are going to have to pause certain story elements to make sure that these characters are ready to go into the next phase. Doctor Strange is now being in the dark dimension and he has now a third eye and he's being busy. He's keeping busy with the multiverse. But if we are doing Secret Wars and a new Avenger movie comes about Secret Wars, then he just has to pause with everything from the multiverse to go back to this universe to then talk about Avengers and Secret Wars and Skrulls and stuff. So it's getting a little bit busy and convoluted and big, and I can kind of see where the fans are coming from, talking about how the story is just getting too big. I agree completely on that note, thinking the MCU could be a lot smaller and a lot more comprised to a few projects per year, but still be very good. It's not that I don't mind everything that is coming, I really am a fan of all of it, and it's okay. So talking about the future of the MCU and what they are doing with the stories, I think it's getting a little bit too big and a little bit too grandeur in a short amount of time. And I think Kevin Feige has to see what they are doing and has to wake up from this beautiful dream of telling everything at once and maybe pinpoint where he actually wants to go. But it's Kevin Feige. He gave us the Infinity Saga, so I trust the guy completely from the bottom of my heart. He made my childhood. I trust Kevin Feige. And another smaller thing I want to talk about the future of the MCU, Phase 4 felt disconnected and fans really don't like it that much. What did we have? We had WandaVision being a great show for fans. I think they thought it was great. Started out slow, but got great near the end. Falcon and the Winter Soldier, it's not that popular among fans, but they are starting to win it over and starting to actually like what they were doing, except for the villain. We have Black Widow, which was just a lame movie. It was not a Black Widow movie at all. It was not that good, and I completely agree. We have Eternals. I thought it was good, but most of the people thought it was too convoluted and too big, and I really get that point, and I really can see where that is coming from. We have Loki being great. What If being quite... What the fuck is that? That's a ladybug on my lamp. But is it the poisonous one? Alright, you can walk there. I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna look at you later. It's moving up. Alright. So, what I was talking about. Loki has been great. What If wasn't that great? Oh, I think it is a ladybug. Alright, but what I was saying. Most of the projects have been good, but there are also a lot of projects that are just mediocre as much. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, they teased the movie being one of the biggest movies of the MCU. They teased a lot and then only showed us one universe. So Marvel actually participated in the fans getting us hyped for a project because of everything that was coming in it to then do nothing with it. And that is also true. So Marvel also participated in the problem created for the fans. So yeah, to get to the title of this video, is the MCU a failing franchise? No, I don't think so. I think that we are just not seeing the bigger picture yet. But I do think the fans are right on the part where we think that the MCU at this moment is going nowhere by going to too many places at all at the same time. And if you look at the runtimes, the first phase was around 12 hours. The second phase was around 12 hours. The third phase was around 24 hours, being very long. But now, only 2 years later into phase 4, actually 1.5 years into phase 4, we already have 50 hours of content, and we will be getting like 20 to 30 hours more. So yeah, it is getting too big, and I think that's the case. And because we are getting 4 movies and 5 to 6 TV shows plus 2 specials every year, I do think a lot of people will eventually bounce back from the MCU because they just cannot follow it at all. I work in a movie theater. Not everyone has Disney Plus. So when some things happen in certain movies and some cameos happens, like the ending of Black Widow, where the lady, I think the lady with the black and purple hair. When she came, everyone was asking himself or herself who that lady was because they did not see Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So Marvel has to wake up from what they are doing. That was a small thing. But I've also seen a lot of people that did not see WandaVision because they do not have Disney Plus or do not have the time to watch every single TV show that's out there. And they did not have a clue on why Wanda Maximoff suddenly was the big fucking bad of the MCU. And that is the problem of the MCU right now. Is it too big? Yes. Is it a failing franchise? No. Will the fans back down from this franchise because they cannot follow? I am afraid that a lot of fans will eventually bow down. But new fans will rise and will watch these news stories. And I will be there for all of it. What is your opinion? Do you think the MCU is a failing franchise? Are you still a big fan of the MCU going forwards? Or are you, just as a lot of other people, backing down from the MCU because you just cannot follow it anymore? Let me know in the comments down below because I'm really excited to hear your opinion on this. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.